pressing pause. An extended break from the production of Conscient Podcast, Balado Conscient, a calm presence, and any related social media. Why do this? One reason is that I've noticed that I sleep better when I don't produce podcasts or essays about the end of the world as we know it. Imagine that. But it's also because my learning and unlearning journey, which I began back in 2020, some 5 years ago, has come full circle. It feels like the end of a chapter. And I sometimes think of it as a 5-year mission to explore strange new art, to seek out solutions to the ecological crisis, and to boldly talk about things that have never been talked about before. Now, maybe they have been talked about before, but I think it's worth repeating. And I think of what I've done as a kind of trek with many mistakes and a few discoveries. And thankfully, I think there are many, many more stories to be told that can inspire us to action, or at the very least comfort us in troubled times. There are many more examples of transformative artworks that I hope we will know about and eventually experience. There are many more questions, good questions, to be asked by artists. And also, artists can play a role in providing us with a few moments of respite and escape from the doom and gloom around us. So I see value in all of this kind of media storytelling work, and I support whomever is doing it as best I can. But for me, it's time to press pause. And there's a quote that I want to read to you that is sort of my northern star. It's by the great Vietnamese Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh. What we most need to do is to hear within us the sound of the earth crying. What we most need to do is to hear within us the sound of the earth crying. So I'm going to think about this, have it at the heart of my daily life, and think about what it means to listen deeply to the sounds of the earth crying, which is essentially ourselves. And how can this insight lead to healing? And we'll see where my spirit takes me. I really have no idea where it's going to go. But before ending this last Substack, I wanted to remind you that I've just published 4 new episodes of Conscient Podcast, 2 in English et 2 en français. And I think they'll be of particular interest. On Conscient Podcast, you can hear an encore presentation of episode 41, Emergency Preparedness, and this is from 2021. With Jen Ray, a Melbourne, Australia-based artist, researcher, facilitator, and educator of Canadian Red River Métis and Scottish descent. And we talked about the intersection between art, emergency preparedness, disaster, risk reduction, and resilience, which to me seems very timely as in 2026, as these issues are amplified. There's some really good thought and ideas and positive energy coming out of Jen Ray's work. The last episode of Season 6 is very close to my heart. It's called episode 244, Roundtable Death as Transformation. And it was recorded on December 2nd, 2025, originally broadcast on December 13th as part of the Making Waves radio program that Darren Copeland at new adventures in sound art produces. Darren asked me to moderate a panel of sound artists, and I chose previous guests from Conscious Podcast, Azul Carolina Duque, Kenneth Newby, and Gwendolyn Bartley. And so we talked about a 12-word sentence by Tim Broadhead that was sort of the trigger for the whole thing and it basically says, death as a natural transformation of energy and consciousness, not an end. So that was our point of departure, and they talked about how their practices as sound artists relate to this theme and this transition. Du côté francophone, le balado conscient, j'ai republié l'épisode 27, l'énergie créatrice libre, avec l'artiste sonore, musicienne, réalisatrice radio, sculpteur, entre autres choses, et une bonne amie de longue date, Hélène Prévost. Donc, dans cette émission, Hélène nous parle de sa tristesse pour l'état du monde, mais aussi comment passer à l'action. Et je pense, en 2026, il est important de se souvenir de ce que Hélène a dit, que l'art, s'il est libre, peut devenir un puissant levier de changement et de ralliement social. Je termine la saison 6 avec l'épisode 171, Villeray acoustique, avec deux artistes sonores, Magali Babin et Chantal Dumas, qui forment le collectif DB. Et c'est un entretien qui a été enregistré le 21 novembre 2025. Et pour un article dans la section enquête de la revue Circuit, une revue sur la musique contemporaine. Mais dans ce cas-ci, c'est un numéro dont je suis le rédacteur invité sur les écologies sonores. Et on a eu une longue conversation avec Magali et Chantal sur leur projet Villeray acoustique, qui est une exploration de ce quartier de Montréal comme expérience sensorielle. Donc vous allez entendre notre conversation, mais aussi une prise de son de Magali Babin au Parc Jarry à Montréal, qui donne un bon exemple des sons dont elle parle. So, that's it. Thank you so much for listening or for reading over these years to this Substack. It's been my privilege to be able to express myself and to receive your feedback. Thanks to all my guests and collaborators on all of these platforms. I'm now going to go silent for a long while, possibly forever, depending on the outcome of my reflections. Take care. See you down the road.